Всем привет, вы на моем канале. Сегодня мы будем смотреть канал Brothers. Вот этих разработчиков, которые делают Garden of Banban. Мы будем начинать с самого начала Garden of Banban до самого третьего конца. Давайте смотреть. Подождите. Следующее видео. Следующее видео.
Decided to move on to the design of the character, and right off the bat we knew two things about the monsters we wanted to design. One, that they needed to be very fitting in a kindergarten setting, and two, that they needed to look creepy as 3D monsters. We decided to go with a style that mimicked those murals and drawings you can expect to see drawn all over the walls of a kindergarten.
Подожди, это сейчас на английском, я переведу. Будем начинать.
Hello everyone, we are Ferris and Geb, the developers of an indie game you may have seen around lately, Garden of Banban. There have been YouTubers and streamers playing it, clones on the Play Store, animations, and bird memes. And we're very grateful for it. If you had taken the time to check out our other games, you may have noticed something. Garden of Banban is far from being our first game. We have made games of just about every genre. Action, adventure, serious, multiplayer, horror, everything. And while some of them have had decent exposure, Garden of Banban is our most popular so far. Also, here's a little secret for you. Most of them are free if you'd like to check them out. So in short, making games has been a massive part of our lives for as long as we can remember. For an indie developer, nothing beats the feeling of watching people play your games and have fun. And knowing that some of these people were our favorite YouTubers as kids just makes it all the more crazy. Now about Garden of Banban. One of the most common questions we've seen is what inspired not just the designs of the characters in the game, but the setting of the game. Well, the idea was to have a setting that most people would be able to relate to and then put our own twist on it. Things that are relatable to anyone and everyone could be associated with their childhoods. We've had this idea for a while now, and a correct implementation is what we needed. After a lot of brainstorming and thinking, a light bulb appeared over our heads, where the idea came through. A kindergarten. Most people have been to kindergarten, and therefore most people would feel uncanny in a twisted kindergarten, and that formed the basis of our game. After deciding what kind of vibe we wanted for the game, which was a mix of unsettling and liminal, we decided to move on to the design of the character. Could be associated with...
Как это случилось? Я просто выбирал.
After deciding what kind of vibe we wanted for the game, which was a mix of unsettling and liminal, we decided to move on to the design of the character. And right off the bat, we knew two things about the monsters we wanted to design. One, that they needed to be very fitting in a kindergarten setting, and two, that they needed to look creepy as 3D monsters. We decided to go with a style that mimicked those murals and drawings you can expect to see drawn all over the walls of a kindergarten. But also we decided to have them look like they were drawn by a creative kindergartner. And the result was the cast you're probably familiar with at this point. 6 cute monsters all smiling and laughing, with each looking vastly different from the other. And that was how the Bon Bon Gang was born. After finalizing the setting and characters, the next thing to tackle was gameplay. A unique mechanic was needed to make the game stand out. Something that would help the player progress through the game and not be a burden or an annoyance. A toy drone is what we ended up settling for many reasons really, but the story of the drone could be a video of its own. By the way, you can teleport it by pressing right click. And that formed the basis on which we designed Garden of Bon Bon. Of course, there are many things that came down the line, such as the gameplay and just how overall the game was going to play out. While deciding how the game was going to play out, we needed to keep our plan realistic and doable.
After all, we both have university as well, so we needed to find a good balance between our studies and what we love doing most, making games. But we pulled through and managed to finish the game, which we are very proud of. We are currently working on the second Garden of Ban Ban, and it will be bigger, better, and scarier than the first game. The second game is available for wishlisting on Steam. Go wishlist it now, or Opila Bird will stare at you out the window for the rest of your life. And that's mostly how Garden of Ban Ban was born.
Следующее видео. Найс. Следующее видео. Как?
So why the
Скример.
Opila Bird? So why this bird out of the other current characters? And why a bird in general? Well, when we were coming up with ideas for the characters, Opila Bird was one of the first designs we came up with. Birds are typically both cute and also intimidating to humans at the same time. And so we thought making a character like this could be somewhat fun. As for what kind of bird Opila is, we'll keep that as a secret for now. To fit in the kindergarten setting we have in the game, we wanted to make it colorful and simple, but it also had to be scary at the same time. The big red eyes and textures on it helped us achieve the unnerving look we were going for. In the very first script of the game, it was actually Stinger Flynn who was going to be the main antagonist of the game, and we were going to have him stalk you all throughout the game, even more than Opila Bird ended up doing. But then later we decided Opila Bird would be a much better fit. It was its time to shine. And what can't birds exist without? Eggs. Yeah. We thought the egg puzzle was a lot more interesting and weird than anything we could do with Stinger Flynn in that setting. Next up was AI. In most horror games, it's expected of monsters and enemies to just run after you and take you out the moment they spot you. This unrealistically applies to animal enemies as well a lot of the time. So why not try something different? We thought having Opila Bird act as a real predator would be something very interesting to see. We decided to have it so that it would only attack you if it felt that you were prey, like predators do. For example, when you run away from it, and when you don't harm it when it has you cornered. It only attacks when the player tries to flee or when it has taken a good look at the player. When the encounter is happening, the player is trapped in a corner with no escape. Your back's to the wall, you can't run past Opila Bird, you can't fight the beast, and your only escape is to run away on those platforms, after which Opila Bird chases you. After the chase scene on the moving platforms, we are given two options. A. Get rid of the bird once and for all by pressing the emergency stop button, or B. run into an invisible wall while trying to escape and die a gruesome death. The whole Opila Bird sequence was originally much more complicated. It involved having to run around the bird like twice and pressing a bunch of buttons. But after letting some of our friends and family try the sequence and seeing that, we decided to simplify it a bit more to what's in the game right now. As for the jump scare, we didn't want to do something that would take the player out of the experience. No cinematic jump scare or crazy camera movements. The whole thing happens live in the game. In the end, we're pretty happy with how Opila Bird turned out. It'll always have a special place in our hearts. As always, wishlist Garden of Bamban 2 if you're interested in seeing more of the series. Thanks for watching and let me know what you thought of.
Следующее видео. Что у нас по списку далее? Третья часть? Да, потому что есть только один трейлер второй части. Это тот тесторовый трейлер. Поэтому мы смотрим дальше третью часть.
Hey everyone, so I stumbled upon this crazy new app called MovieBot that
Стингер-флингер вылазит. Туруру. Следующий видос. Прикольная штука. Ну, короче, вы поняли. Это уже интересно. Посмотрите на вот эту надпись. Это настоящая дата третьей части. 12 дней назад это все вышло. Капец. Этот видос я не смотрел. Куда? Ну вы видели. Следующее видео. О, господи. Подождите, это ж песни. Алло, куда я зашел? И не прошло 5 минут, так уже 4-я часть объявляется. переходим к этому. Мобайл релиз. Андроид такой сидит, нагленький. Нормально, батя. Точно? Точно. Сердечко сделай. Короче, вы поняли. Вы поняли, что вот это означает? Что вот это? Нормально. Короче, третья часть вышла в Google Play. Заходите и качайте. Только она дорого стоит. Ну, меньше стоит, чем вторая часть. Поэтому играйте с удовольствием. Всем пока!